What's up, people? Hope y'all can see me. This is the second time I did this video. Y'all see this right here? It's called a carpet remnant. And I use it for the flooring in the truck for like mats. Because we have like a black mat on the floor. And the black mat on the floor is rubber. But when you get up in the morning, and I don't know, I don't sleep with my shoes on and I don't sleep with socks on. So when I get up, I don't like putting my foot on cold floor or on rubber. So it's nice having something cushiony. So Walmart, $1.88. Sometimes you can get them to match, sometimes you can't. Mine aren't all that coordinated. I will say they range in gray and tan. I got one that's blue up here in the front on the passenger side. I don't really sit over there that much, but it's just in case I have to move over there and walk over there. It's just nice to have one down there. And also keep stuff from sliding around down there too. And then on this side I actually have two black mats that were a little more expensive. I think they might have been $3 or $4 each. But these were $1.88 each. Trader Bill had these in his truck, and I didn't realize Walmart had them for $1.88. If you go to the truck stop, they got them for $5.99. So you might want to just go to Walmart and get them. Like I said, they're $1.88, pretty damn cheap, and they come in all different little sizes. And they're basically carpet remnant that they had at a truck stop. I did a shower and yesterday. I didn't lotion yesterday, so I'm in the wintertime I'm itchy because my skin dries out really, especially all over the country. Home, I'm not so bad, but in certain areas of the country I dry out just the cold. Sometimes I have to do straight Vaseline because it's just, and I didn't realize one time I was when I first came out here, allergies and itching big time. But anyway, a lot of stuff going on to get y'all caught up. So it's supposed to home time in Lubbock, but unfortunately they're saying they can't find, I guess there's no loads that she has really showing going into Lubbock. And so the next way they would get me home time is to deadhead me. When I was at Conway, that was never a problem. They would get me into Dallas. I'd drop a load there, and then they would deadhead me home to Lubbock, Texas. Unfortunately, the company I'm with, they don't do that because they're cheap. But some other things have transpired as far as the truck. The truck I came to Wisconsin with a load, and we were supposed to get the bunk heater knocking out the 12 volts fixed. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case because the terminal I'm at, I don't know what's going on. Well, I had a feeling I know what's going on. And I think that this terminal is going to be a no more terminal, or it's going to be just a drop yard. So when I got here to do my B service several months back, the terminal was packed, full of trailers. The middle was full of trailers. In the middle, there was just a lot going on this yard. Not hugely busy, but you could tell it was, you know, an active terminal. I got here this weekend on Sunday, and the whole middle section was empty. And there were a few trailers around that are loaded trailers that were dropped for somebody else to pick up, like a T-call or swap. But otherwise, it was pretty ghost towny. Then when I went upstairs on Sunday to go I was going to get some com data checks from the dispatch, they had a sign on the windows that said out for lunch, and they didn't even list the time. It's like, screw it, we're done. I don't know. But I found out a lot of stuff today. And a lot of what I suspected is going to happen with this company is in process right now. You know, I'm hoping my driver manager stays for at least the length of time I'm here. I'm going to hang in here most likely till the end of the year, maybe a little longer, because I'm trying to work my plan. That's not a hole. I got a hole in my shirt. This is one of my holy shirts. This is one of my bed shirts I usually wear. It's got little holes in it. It's old. It's old. It's an old big dog shirt. But I was supposed to, when I went to go talk to the lady, so they're not open on weekends. So Sunday I got here, nobody was really here. It was like I said, it was like a damn ghost town on this yard. And when I went upstairs to go to dispatch, the dispatch, they had a sign saying out to lunch, and I don't know if they even came back to lunch. Because I just came on out to my truck and started working in the truck, which I needed to do. So I'm doing a reset here, but the repairs for the truck were not done here. They're aiming me back home towards Phoenix in order to have the repairs done. So I'll do the repairs at home in Phoenix. So I'm going to home time actually at home. And I'll see the Joe, but they're going to allow me to go through Lubbock so I can check on my father, and me and him need to have a come to Jesus meeting about making sure his stuff is in order in case something happens. I'll probably give y'all a little tour of this truck because I don't know if I'm going to be in this truck based on So me and my driver manager talked, and I told her, I said, look, you know, I know how this company works. I was with you guys in 2010. If this truck has to be in the shop for repairs longer than a certain period of time, what they do is they make me go into another truck because they want me moving, because they want to move freight. And right now, I know that my division has had, in 15 days, they've had 17 rollovers, and one resulted in a fatality. And so I'm sure that has, you know, and I'm not laughing because that's bad. I mean, good, but I'm just like, I'm sure that it has a huge effect on freight movement for the division, especially refrigerated. But I needed to reset because I started rolling hours just to get here. I rolled hours. And into Wisconsin after I reset. So I reset at the customer because I had to sleep out in the customer's yard, and then I left there and went, got my shower, and then headed here. I'll leave out of here tomorrow. I'm doing a shower here tonight. I can't stand doing showers at truck stop. But anyway, I did my shower yesterday, so I got a free night because I try to do every other day. So y'all know how I do it. I try to do it every second day. I get a shower. Worst case is third day, but by the third day, I have to have a shower. My body is like, can't stand it. So tomorrow, once I pick the load up on my way towards Texas, because I am going towards Texas from Wisconsin, I will be, I'll be trying to get a shower somewhere. I know they're going to head me to a terminal because I have to take this class that I have to take, that I was supposed to be taking by today. So she's working on that part, but I'll pick the load up tomorrow, and then I'm headed toward Texas for this class. I'll take the class at one of our terminals in Texas, and then from there they're going to give me a load, probably heading me towards Phoenix, so I can be to Phoenix by the end of the week, because I also need to do re-ups on my medications. But what this lady told me today when I tried to get the truck fixed here, which basically was, we're just blowing your ass off because we don't have enough people, and we're probably not going to be in business here much longer. Due to the merger, they're probably shutting this terminal down, is what I kind of got a vibe of. Or they're just going to make it a drop yard. She said, well, first they had a dude there who was helping them, who was a driver helping in the mechanic shop. I'm like, yeah, that's not a good sign. And then I was asking questions, and she's like, well, I can't probably get your truck in for 3 to 4 days. And then she's like, and we have a machine hook it up. She says, but if you're needing your inverter to work, you're just going to have to idle the truck for what you need. It's going to have to do continuous idle. And I'm like, well, can't you make it do that? Well, no, I don't have the technology. It's going to have to go to a Freightliner dealership is what she's telling me. I don't know if that's necessarily true, because I know that they can hook the truck up to some machine and go in and change parameters. So I think it's just they don't have the people to do it. And she said she was down only 2 people. And then another driver, I guess he heard her talking on the phone, and she was telling people on the phone that she might not have a job here pretty soon, and could they maybe make it sooner? So it sounds like she's trying to transition to another company. She's kind of a bitch anyway. I hate to say it, but she's always not the nicest person. Even when I was here before, even though they did a fabulous job on this truck, she was not the nicest person to deal with. So I contacted my driver manager, which I really like. Like I said, I like her. She works with me and everything. And I told her what was going on. I said, I don't know if this yard going to be around much longer. I told you what I used to do, right? I said, yeah. I said, what I'm seeing right now tells me this yard ain't going to be part of the company. Or if it is, it's just going to be a drop yard. I said, it's like a ghost town up on this piece. I said, when I came here before, it was full of trailers. Right now, it's got some trailers. I said, in the middle. Now, right now, they brought in there's a bunch of people that came in with trailers that are now in the middle. But in the middle, it was empty. And then, if you look across the yard, they got a big old gap. You can see the fence. I came in here before, you couldn't see no fence line. And you can see the fence line. I can't take pictures because y'all would know who I work for. I hope y'all don't see that when I open the window. Y'all see when I open the window who I work for? Y'all see that? Nope, you can't. Haha, you can't. So, yeah. I just, yeah, it's some crazy stuff going on. But yeah, so this guy, he was telling me, and then he's also saying that he's already hauling trailers for the other company that we merged with. I don't know how true that is. He's an owner out, and he said he's hauling trailers, but I wouldn't be shocked. Like I knew that half what they told us was some bull crap. even in the interview that they did, it's like, it's not the best, it's not the best financial move. It just really isn't. The other thing I want to talk about is a little bit of racism in trucking. I don't know if I'll do this in this one or not. Do I want to do that in this one? No. I think I want to call it the Old Boy Network. So what I have learned and what I think is good is a company that they merge with, they're more business savvy in my opinion. From what I've heard about them. Again, I haven't worked for them. I just know people that work for them. And they're more business savvy. They're liquid. Our company's in debt. They are the smaller of the two, but they are a better run company. The person who owned the other company used to work for this company before he started the other company. And so he's now getting what he wanted because he wanted to own this company at one point. And now he's going to run it and manage it. A lot of what happened in this particular company, which is something I learned when I worked here before, it's, in my humble opinion, what's called a good old boy company. Meaning I become buddies with somebody, we go beers, hamburgers, whatever, and later on I create a position for that person or put them in a position because I like Johnny so-and-so because Johnny so-and-so is cool. One thing me and Bill talked about, and I'm not going to get too far into the racial thing in this video because I want to do a whole another video on racial issues. I hate the word race. I hate the word race because there is not race that is an American thing that's created from the slavery days to separate people based up on their skin color. I don't like that. In reality, I really feel we're an ethnicity, and I think the sad part is the only culture when you fill out an application that actually gets to put ethnicity is a Latino community. I don't know what y'all did, but bomb on you for doing it, to where we do have to look at you as an ethnic group, because when you fill out an application for a home, they'll ask you what race you are, and the only group that's asked something different is it says or ethnicity, and the only group is Latino. So in reality, we're all an ethnicity. We all come from some ethnic background. We're either African American, Asian American, Italian American, Jewish American. You're coming from one of those cultural backgrounds. And so I have a problem with the word race, but it exists. In the Good Old Boy Network, it's mainly Anglo white men in the trucking industry. And that's some of the thing that I think has hurt the industry, because you have a similar mindset and you don't have the diversity that you actually need in order to run the business better. Whereas that other group, the other company that we merged with, when you look at some of the people that they have, they didn't come out the trucking world. I like, because they have something online where they actually go out with their drivers. And I mean, the executives, the higher management, HR people, payroll, they go out with the drivers, and I think that's phenomenal. And they experience at least a day or two over the road. Now granted, they don't experience long term, but I think you get enough of it to know and respect what we do in this industry. Also, what I found out is a lot of them, granted they may end up becoming, because I worked in corporate America, and you end up becoming buddies, but the ones who get your position by being someone's buddy, that always bothers me. I've worked in a company where that happened, and it's not a good thing. The person is usually inadequate, or something ain't right about them. And it's just not a good thing. So a lot of times you have it, and I think that that's something that needs to get cleaned up, and will get cleaned up. Because normally creating positions for people who aren't really trained to do those positions, they're not going to do well in them. So it's going to be proven over time. There's some other things that were mentioned to me with these two drivers. I guess he said that one of his planners told him that they had a meeting after the merger happened, and they were basically told to get your numbers up. So I'm wondering if that's why the increase in miles, plus we've had so many turnovers, is that those numbers have to move upward in order for, once this company starts coming in, which they've already started assessing way before the merger completed. See, the merger being finalized on the documentation and illegally, that's the beginning of the merger process. That's not the end. The introduction that we're merging, that's like a prelude. The actual start of the merger process is after everything is finalized. When that merger is finalized, that's when all the real work begins, and that's when people start, unfortunately, losing jobs, and the revamping starts with the company. New technologies are brought in, things like that. The way that the other company does its business is then implemented and brought over, and it's needed. It's really needed. Our technology on board here, some of this is so antiquated, the Qualcomm antiquated. Like I said, I was probably, had I not got my GPS, I probably would have had a damn accident by now with this reroute, because you have to click a button to reroute, whereas my GPS just auto reroutes for me. So there's just certain things that need to be updated, and I'm kind of happy that it might bring an end to the old boy network that happens in trucking. We're going to talk a little bit later on about the racial issue, because the old boy network plays huge into that, because again, you have mainly white men bringing other white men in. The only group that I've actually seen that has had an increase in the office environment presence in the trucking industry is the Latino community. They have moved from just being truckers to now being fleet managers and dispatch managers and planners. And I really think that group has come in because they have a heavy presence on the border. We have to interact more with the border. Mexico, a lot of times when I was with Conway, I was bringing loads right from Mexico, from the border of Mexico all the way up into Canada. And that rules the industry. So then you're going to have people from that culture who, from the drivers up to the fleet managers, are going to, have positions. So for me, I think one thing I was going to do is I'm going to learn a Rosetta Stone, because it is a key now to be able to interact with the Latino group and speak Spanish. Unfortunately, however you feel about it, you're going to have to learn their language in order to sometimes help you have a smoother transaction whenever you're dealing in the border areas or in areas where there's a heavy Latino presence. In transportation, they're in the warehouses. The Latino community, they're driving the trucks. They're now working as fleet managers in the office, so to me, you got to get on their cultural page if you want to kind of be successful. So one of the things I want to do is I'm going to do Rosetta Stone and learn Spanish. And don't get me wrong, I'm not judging. My family's a Rainbow Coalition. I have nieces who are half black, half Spanish, and speak solid, fluent Spanish and English. So I'm going to take it to my advantage. Other people may want to come over here and not learn a language. I'm going to learn a language and get along either way. But we're at 17 minutes. Shout out to Crystal. Crystal, I sent you I didn't really email it to you. I just put it on your post of the CDL test that you can do the practice exam. When you do the practice exam, anybody who's doing this, if you want, I'm happy to send you links on what I did. There's a bunch of free exams you can do online and practice. Oftentimes, those practice exams are perfect because they're asking you the exact same question you're going to be asked at DOT. And you just take them over and over until you get to the 80%. If you can get to 100%, it's even better because you know your stuff. And then you'll be ready to take the exams. There are different types of exams. I'm going to tell you, if you do decide to go after your CDL, get all of your endorsements. If you have the only one I don't have is passenger. I have every last other one. I have hazmat, I have doubles, triples, I have tanker. I have air brakes. I mean, you have to have air brakes. I have every freaking possible endorsement except for passenger. And the sad thing was I could have done passenger at my trucking school, and I should have. But if I ever decide to go drive for a bus system, I can. And they'll pay for it. Oftentimes they'll have people who can test you out for it right then and there. You don't even have to go through DOT. You just may have to take the passenger permit test. But yeah, so like I said, a lot going on here. Come to the ghost town. They wouldn't work on the truck. Talked to my driver manager, and I said, look, I don't know. I said, I was hoping to get something to Lubbock, and I said, but worst case scenario, what we can do is you can get me to Phoenix. I'll take it to the Phoenix shop, see if what this woman is really telling me is true. And I said, if the case is, one thing about the Phoenix shop, Phoenix will take this truck and drive it right over to Freightliner. And there is a huge Freightliner dealership. I've been to it before in Phoenix, right up from the terminal that I go to in Phoenix. And they can handle it. But, yeah, nothing much. But, yeah, if you guys do the test, just let me know or you need anything. Do like Crystal. She put a message down there. And I'll answer any question you got. I know I have a lot of newbies that I get hit up from time to time. So, and I got people telling me about different trucking companies to go to. I'm going to stick it out for a little bit longer as far as the end of the year. Like I said, I really like my driver manager. And I also am kind of curious to see what's going to happen with this merger. The drivers inside were talking. It was like a few of us talking, and I said, one guy, he's got safety issues, and he's got to worry. Because I also think what they're going to do is they're going to come in, and any driver with certain number of safety issues, they're going to cut them. If you don't have any safety issues, you're going to be fine. Because they need drivers more than anything. But they're getting ready to streamline this crap, and they're going to look at people's performance based on that. Anyway. Alright, I am in... Well, I'm in Greeley, but this is like Evans. I guess it's on the border, Greeley. And this is an old diner. I haven't been here in years, but I just loaded, like, not even a mile from here, if that, 0.7 miles. And it took so long, they're taking my load from me and giving it to a team, which I didn't have the hours to get that load on time. I figured they were going to just adjust the schedule. When they do the liver and onions, extra onions.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, there's a diner, a little cafe in here, and I didn't notice I haven't been here, man, in over about 8 years, and it's still, you guys can see, old school diner, old school truck stop. So, it's an old school truck stop. Give me a salad. Let's see if you can see that salad. There we go. And I'll be getting liver and onions. I don't have a craving for liver and onions, I don't know why. But yeah, this has been here a long time. I like old school truck stops because there's a lot of parking, and I got parking real close. Their team, I was supposed to go take this back to our Denver terminal, but I only had like 40 minutes when they got done. I had to wait an hour for the freaking paperwork. So the team is actually going to have to come here and get it. I've communicated that through our Qualcomm, but our dispatch hasn't said anything, so I'm not really going to worry about it. And what I'm about to do in a few minutes is go back to the truck, go to the bunk. I might get a shower here. I've never showered here before, but they do have showers, so I might shower here. But it's an old school truck stop. So I'll do that one more time so y'all can see it. The old school to the top. That's the old school. So anyway, it's Evans, Colorado, off of 85 on 1st Street. I think it's 1st Street. 31st Street. 31st Street. I think it's 31st Street. Anyway.